All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, Insane Layer 13, and today we are going to bring you a special showcase, the final race in a 10-race NASCAR series, and it's going to end with one of the closest championship fights you can ever see. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need any special stages, we don't need special stage yellows, we don't need a chase system to reset the points. 3 drivers are mathematically on top of each other, and you'll be here with us to the end for today's event. I am going to go ahead and run us down real quickly for the General Championship clinch scenarios coming into this race. Mind you, we have about 13 drivers going to be running in today's event, and I will try to go over as many of them as I can before we get into it. However, just be aware that there is a high likelihood that's just not quite going to work out for me to go through the entire thing. The big focus is on the championship fight. 3 drivers have ended up in this scenario. P1 MabeyRacing, the driver who also helps orchestrate a lot of IFEA's events and help get the series together, he leads the championship, but it's only by 2 points right now coming into today's event. Then you have Tactical Fallout, who has won several races, but missed a race critically about 2 weeks ago, which dragged him back into contention with everyone else, and Dino Prime 77. Mabey has only won a single race this far this season. Dino has not won yet. Tactical Fallout has 3 wins. With that in mind, in any sort of scenario where the 3 of them end up being tied at the end of today's event, you will see that Mabey will win any tie that he has with Dino, and Tactical Fallout will break all the ties. There may be a bit of an oddity if we end up in a scenario where Dino wins the race and Mabey finishes second and they end up tying at the end of the race. They would both end up having 1 race win each, and then it would go down to which driver has more seconds, then which driver has more thirds, and so on and so forth. I can't give you that information exactly, but I can go ahead and say that basically for winning today's race, it's at 35 points. There are no points involved for lean laps, no points for pole setting, nothing like that. If you win today's race, you get 35 points. If you finish second, you get 32 points. Third, you get 30 points. Fourth, you get 28 points. Fifth, you get 26 points. 6th place gives you 25 points, and from 7th all the way down to 13th, as we have 13 drivers showing up, it descends 25, 24, 23, 22, etc. So, with that in mind, this means that in the championship fight, this is the scenario you're looking for. Simply put, if you're MabeyRacing, you need to finish ahead of the other 2 drivers. Under no circumstances do you want them to end up ahead of you. There is a technical way where, again, Dino could win and Mabey could finish second, and Mabey might be able to steal the title, but that will come down to finishing countback, and I don't know between those 2 who has more second place finishes at this stage of the season. I just can't answer that. And if they both are tied on seconds, it goes down to the thirds, like I said. So for Mabey, it's very simple. You need to stay ahead of Dino and Tactical Fallout under all circumstances. For Tactical Fallout, if he wins, he also, by default, wins the title, doesn't matter what happens. If Dino wins the race, again, ideally, as long as Mabey's not the one right behind him, that's interesting. Now, if those 3 drivers end up not being in position to win today's race, they are not the one taking the checkered flag first at the line, again, Mabey wins by default just by finishing ahead of the others. If Tactical Fallout finishes 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, and neither of the other 2 finish ahead of him, again, he wins by default. For Dino, it's a little bit tighter because Dino is 3 points behind Mabey. Tactical is 2 points behind Mabey coming into today's event. For Dino, if he finishes 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, he needs Mabey to finish 2 spots behind him. If Dino finishes 2nd, Mabey needs to be 4th. If Dino gets 3rd, Mabey needs to be 5th. And you get the point. Again, if Mabey is right behind Dino, it would go to Dino's favor. Now, if it comes down to Tactical Fallout finishing 5th or worse, he still needs to be 2 positions ahead of Mabey so he can take the talent tiebreaker. Again, Tactical Fallout has 3 wins this season. Mabey has a single one. For Dino, he basically needs to finish 4 positions ahead of Mabey if Dino ends up 5th or worse, but still ahead of the others. That's basically what it comes down to. But realistically, for everyone here, the simplest way to win today's championship for those 3 drivers is to just win the race. If you can't do that, finish ahead of the others, let the chips fall where they fall. That's really all it comes down to. Again, 13 drivers for today's event. We are yet to properly load onto the circuit here. But real quickly, just go ahead and look over. Claiming Racer is going to be in the number 13 Ford. Dino Prime 77, one of the championship contenders, is in the number 77 Exalted Machine. NFL Racer 4812 is in the number 53 Chevrolet. Tactical Fallout is in that cursed number 4 Hendrick Cars Chevrolet. Pindaz is in the number 17 Raycon Mustang. MabeyRacing is in that very cursed number 3 Exalta Mustang. King Racing Lego is in the number 83 Chevrolet. Fraught Meteor is in the number 87 Chevrolet. Amish Gaming is one of the few Toyota representatives. He is in that number 71 red and white Toyota. Packerman 71 is in the number 70 Mustang. Jack Broseph is in the number 1 Motul Camry. GGA Design is in the number 44 Ford, and Fire Guy 414309 rounds out the field in that number 7 Camry, the last of the 3 Camrys that will be running in today's event. We're still waiting for Dino to ready up, and then we will be underway to begin today's race proper here. But again, this could end up being a very, very interesting race. We have that championship fight we have to keep an eye on throughout the event. The other thing to consider is that this series does take use of extended lap times to enable green-white checkered overdrives. We were fortunate enough to not have to worry about any scenario where drivers had to do overtimes when we did our broadcast at Daytona a few weeks back, but that might end up changing today. So just be aware of that as everyone now begins to load onto the track. So there should be a 134 race for today's event here. All right, so they tried loading onto the circuit once. They seem to have some sort of issue doing it the first time. This will be a 134 lap race today. And again, it does go up to the lap count, we'll say 145, but realistically it's 134 laps. So we'll keep an eye. We want to see who is at the head at the end of lap 135. A lot of interesting controversies have played out since the end of the Daytona race until today. After the Daytona race that we covered about 3 weeks back, there was a race at Watkins Glen. It ended up being very interesting because it was drivers who didn't really have a big impact on the championship that dominated at the very end of that event. Tactical Fallout, who had won that Daytona race, did not show up at all. So all those points he built up from that win that he had at Daytona completely wiped out. He immediately dropped down the order and maybe took the points lead back. Then, a week ago, we had a race, the second race of this series at Eagle Rock. Again, I didn't cover it. I really only came on to cover 2 races this season on a kind of case-by-case basis. But at Eagle Rock, Dino Prime was running up front for, while not winning scenario, he was in a top 2, top 3 scenario for most of the race. However, on a restart, on a green-white checkered finish, he got hit by Tactical Fallout, someone who normally they go into series as teammates. He got hit by Tactical Fallout, knocked off track, ended up involved in an incident, dropped well down the order, and he was not the only one. MabeyRacing as well got involved in an instance and fell down the order. Tactical, with another win, which had been his 3rd of the season, pulled himself back into title contention, and that has been what has put all 3 of these drivers right on top of each other in the championship hunt coming into today's event. A lot of harsh feelings, a lot of bitter feelings between Dino, or from Dino towards Cat going into this race. We'll keep an eye on that. If there ends up being some type of retaliation today, we don't know. Maybe they've gotten together and taken care of it over the weekend. Can't do anything to say that one way or another. I do know, though, that both of them are still chasing Mabey in today's event. I don't know how that will end up coming up. Dino has not won a single race this season. It has been consistency. He has shown up to races and has very rarely dropped out of races. And even when the races where he drops out, lags out midway through, it's normally in smaller fields, or he does it late enough in the event that doesn't tank his results. Maybe he's also shown up to all races, but at Daytona, he lagged at the second Daytona race. He lagged out early, finished dead last, while Dino took home a top 5 and Tack won that, which really wiped him out. Tack has been by far stronger than both of them throughout the season. However, that's come at the cost of Tack having missed the race. So 3 very different fights have brought, or 3 very different seasons have brought those 3 drivers into their championship play amongst each other. Okay, there are only 2 points of interest cameras here, I see. Alright. Well, you can see the field's already getting lined up here in Speedway Turn 1. It is Claiming Racer 56, who is on the pole. Dino Prime 77 is qualified second. Tactical Fallout third. MabeyRacing fourth. In this scenario, if they finished in this order, it would be Dino who would take the championship. But again, we still have a proper race to go through. We're looking at, unless we get some green light check overdrives, the end of lap 135 to decide this event. It seems like Fraught Meteor has pulled off circuit for some reason. We're not sure what's gone on there. The field has mostly gathered up with the exception of Fraught Meteor. He is moving, but the rest of the field's doubled up, and unless he gets on the throttle immediately, it's going to be trouble. All right, for Claiming Racer, he has no claim to this championship fight. He is trying to steal a win at the end of this season. He has had a decent season, although not as great as he'd like it to. Everyone is doubled up 2 by 2 by 2, with the exception of one driver at the very rear of the grid. As they come down to take the green flag, we are underway here at Miami. No, we are not. We are going another lap under the yellow flag. Okay, so I guess Fraught Meteor is going to get a chance to knock out a pit stop and repair the damage that may have arisen that caused him to go off very early in the event. Again, Claiming Racer is one of the other drivers who has won races. He won races earlier in the season, but missed a lot of races afterwards. While he was looking like a strong championship favorite early on, his inability to make a large number of the races pretty much kicked him out of contention. Also, there was one other driver, I believe it's Amish Gaming, who was mathematically still eligible to win the title today, coming into today's race. But for that to happen, he would have needed to win the race. He would have needed a full 24-car field to show up. And he would have needed maybe Dino and Tack to all finish at the back of the field. Obviously, we don't have a full 24-car field today, so obviously that is not going to happen. But it is still a respectable run to fourth in the points for Amish. But anyways, as our focus goes back onto the circuit, it looks like Fraught Meteor has caught back up to the field. Claiming Racer, starting on the pole for the final race of the season. Second, third, and fourth are your championship contenders. Dino Prime behind Tack, and both of them behind Mabey, with only 3 points separating them. There's still one more win out on the table, and there's still a championship to be fought over. 13 drivers come to the line, and we are underway here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Claiming Racer gets a fantastic jump and immediately goes to the front, right around the high side. Dino looks to the inside as he falls in line to second. Mabey moves to third, and Tactical Fallout has already slipped to fifth. Not a great start for Tack. All right, so Dino Prime now currently runs in second, with Mabey right behind. In this scenario where Mabey finishes right behind Dino like this, Mabey would actually end up stealing the championship from Dino, because Mabey would only lose 2 points while he is ahead of Dino by 3. There is a car sideways in the back of the field. That is NFL Racer, who has gone completely sideways. Is there any damage to the car? He is not the only one. That is Fire Guy, who has also gone around. But it looks like the field is still running for the moment. No, we have the yellow flag. Can't say for certain what happened, but shades of the 1992 Hooters 500 at Atlanta, where within the first 2 laps of racing, an incident happens and puts the field back under yellow flag. Don't know how long it's going to take for an NFL racer to catch back up to the rear of the grid. What a Fire Guy, does he have any damage on his machine? Engine damage. Oh wow, that is a lot of engine damage to the number 7 AHL TV machine. And if he knows any better, he will go ahead and come down pit lane. He has not come down pit lane. Well, that could be problematic because you saw 40% engine damage. If you're running 670 horses and you got 40% engine damage, you might as well be running 300 horses down on the field. It is going to be very, very rough for him. Maybe he's banging on another yellow flag or something. So Claiming leads from the pole. Dino Prime holds second, Mabey is third. This finishing order would give Mabey the championship coming into today's event. Or leaving today's event. Again, end of lap 136, actually, because we had 2 pace laps early on. So it would be lap 136 we have to keep an eye on, not 135. It's a 134 lap race. You take away the 2 laps early on. Is anyone going to be pitting? Doesn't look like it as everyone's doubling up, and it looks like the inside line has a bit of a preference. So Claiming will be on the inside, Dino will be on the outside, and there are only 4 cars on that outside line right now, so a lot of people have a strong preference for the inside. Dino needs to get a great run on Claiming, otherwise he runs the risk of falling behind Mabey on this restart. As they come to the restart zone, double wide, you hear the engines fire up. We are back underway. Claiming gets a great shot. Mabey is to the inside of Dino. Dino is left on the outside with no one helping him. Mabey looks to the inside of Claiming. There's no room there. He has to pedal back out and lets Dino get stuck on his outside, but Mabey will get second as they come out of turn 2. Now Jack Broseph comes to the inside of that number 77 machine. Jack now going around the inside of Dino there as Mabey stabilizes in second. Tactical Fallout runs in 5th, just behind the number 77. Here comes Pindaz on the inside now. Pindaz is going to be the one that pins the number 77 to the outside. Well, the start of this race is going fantastic for MabeyRacing. He is in second position while both of his title contenders are out of the podium spots. Now Dino Prime falls behind Tactical Fallout. It seems like with the way this car is set up, the inside line is the only line you want. Now Tac makes a dive to the inside of Pindaz. Side by side for position, and the 4 will get by that Raycon machine. The number 17 drifts wide, very nearly slaps the outside. Fire Guy finally comes in the pit lane to repair the damage to the engine on that thing. Tactical Fallout has now put that number 4 car in the 4th position. Here comes Dino to his inside. Right now, though, these 2 are basically fighting over rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic as MabeyRacing is in second and Claiming is just walked away at the head of the field. Jack Broseph is the driver right behind Mabey at the moment, trying to put pressure on that number 3 machine. The number 1, Motul Chevrolet, very nearly hits the outside wall, and there's another spin. 2 more cars as Teen Racing Leo is one of them. He slams the inside wall with significant impact, a lot of damage. NFL Racer is involved in an incident in the back of the field again. And that will bunch the field back up under the yellow flag once more. We'll try to knock out an ad break under our next yellow flag. This is great news, though, for Fire Guy, because he should have a chance now to circle around and get back on the lead lap. But Claiming Racer is your leader, Mabey second, and we saw very obviously that on that restart, and just on those few laps of racing we did get in, the inside line is the line of choice, and Claiming is coming to the pits. Your race leader Claiming is coming into the pit lane. So he is going to elect to knock out a pit stop now. And this changes dynamics quite a bit because now it will be MabeyRacing who is leading. Jack Broseph will be second, Dino Prime third, Tactical Fallout fourth. So your title contenders are first, third, and fourth now. And Claiming knocking out a pit stop very early in this event. Only about 10% wear on the tires for Mabey. For Dino in third, we had a bit of a slower start. get 11%, and Dino is wearing the right front, while Maybe is wearing the right front. Yeah, everyone's wearing the right front. It seems to be pretty stable. Tactical Fallout, who is in 4th position. He has a little less wear, 10.2%. So the field now beginning to double up. IFEA does a bit of a unique choose lane rule. They normally take a painted line on a straightaway or entering into a quarter and then divide the field back based on that. And then once they're out of the corner, that's when they double up. All right, everyone has gathered back together. So Claiming Racing is now going to be back in 11th position. It is MabeyRacing on the inside. Dino is going to try and make the outside work again, as will Tactical Fallout. The outside didn't work on the start or the restart. What about this time? Into the restart zone they come once again as they begin to start lap 11. Green flag is out. Maybe gets a push from Jack Grossa from behind. No issue whatsoever. And immediately Maybe gets into the corner a little wide. Jack looks to his inside. Now Jack slides a little wide. Here comes Dino to his inside. Side by side for a 2nd position. Maybe holds spot at the lead. Tactical Fallout falls right there in 4th, watching the fight for a 2nd continue. Jack gets right on Maybe's rear bumper as they go through the corner. They're briefly 3 wide and 3. Dino has a huge run. He comes to the inside. Drag race. Dino leads the lap. It is side by side between Dino and MabeyRacing. Now the number 1 machine looks to the inside of the 77, but can't keep it there and keeps the number 4 car trapped in 4th for the moment. Dino goes to the lead now as Maybe slips to 2nd, and now Jack Broseph is tucked up behind the 3. Will he try and make a move on the driver who is leading the points coming into this race? Tack running a little bit wider line, a little bit farther back right now. Maybe is tucked up right behind Dino. Nose to tail pretty much as they go down the front straightaway. The front half of the field, the top 6 cars have kind of broken away from the back 7 at the moment. Jack Broseph has a run. Maybe has the run on the inside. The inside line has been so much better from what we've seen thus far today. Dino's trapped on the outside. Maybe is on the inside. There's fighting going on a little bit behind, but they're still neck and neck for a lead in this event. Maybe has the position. Here comes the number 13 of Claiming. It's only taken him about 3-4 laps, but he is now making it 3 wide for this race lead as they go into turn 1 once more. He's going to quit. He's Maybe up high, and Dino has to back out of it. He does not want to be knocked into the outside wall, but in the process, Dino now falls back to 5th position. Maybe falls to 3rd. And Tack has fallen all the way back to 6th position now. Jack Broseph trying to do something against Claiming. Claiming is on the outside. Jack Broseph on the inside has a twitch. Slides. He'll lose the track position. Here comes the car on the inside. Is that Packerman? No, that's Maybe. Maybe has a run. Maybe comes to the inside. Dino has to deal with Packerman on his inside, though. Maybe now moves back into 2nd position. Jack Broseph squeezed a little wide by Packerman. So Maybe seems to have the edge over Dino and Tactical Fallout, at least in the early stages of this event. Packerman has now gotten the position on Jack Broseph, and the number 1 makes a little bit of contact with Tactical Fallout, nearly hits the outside wall. They're 3 wide for position, farther back in the grid right now, side by side for 4th and 5th position. Tack on the inside of Jack Broseph. He makes a little bit of contact. He slides. He's into the outside wall. He spins across the field. He's hit 2 times from behind. A humongous accident by one of our championship contenders. And the car is a complete, totaled wreck. They'll have to push that thing likely back to the pit lane. And he's not the only one. Amish Gaming and Fraught Meteor, I believe, are the other 2 who took such significant damage in that scenario. So we'll knock out an ad break here while they re-rack and stack the field here. All right, well, welcome back here to Homestead Miami Speedway. As Tactical Fallout, one of your 3 championship contenders, had a bit of an incident and had a humongous accident from the process. He will get to circle back to the back of the group at the end of the field, but he will be on the lead lap. Your leader is Claiming Racing, and one other driver, that is Packerman71, along with GTA Design as well. 2 other drivers will pit under this yellow flag. But a significant multi-car accident brought out a brief red flag while we were away there. However, it has circled out that all of our drivers are now on the lead lap once again. Claiming Racing, though, seems to have everyone's number, and unless something insane happens to him in the last 10 or so laps of this race, I think Claiming Racing, by default, is just so much faster than everyone else, he's going to likely walk off with this race win. The question is going to be MabeyRacing, Dino Prime, and Tactical Fallout when it comes to their fight for third, for what will likely be second place in this race, and for the overall championship. Maybe seems to have Dino's number and Tac's number. Tac hasn't really made a whole lot of big, crazy moves. In fact, he ended up having an instant. Dino has been making some moves. He's really been committed to try and make the outside line work on a lot of these restarts, but that's just not been coming together for him at all thus far. Every time he seems to lose positions, and it takes some time to rake his way back up to the field. Now we're seeing the field all doubling up, and again, Dino Prime decides to choose to restart on the outside line once again. Again, like I've said before, not a lot of drivers like to restart on the outside line. This time, only 4 drivers are starting on that outside line. Dino Prime is one of them. The number 17 of Pindaz is another one. So MabeyRacing, on the other hand, is going to be in the inside of Claiming Racer as they come back to the restart zone once again. 4 cars outside, 9 cars inside. We are underway once more. Claiming has a great run, being pushed by Mabey into the corner. Mabey is being pushed as well by Jack Broseph. Dino's kind of trapped on the outside with no one to help him. Mabey slides up high just to put the block on that number 77. Dino's not going to be happy about that. Here comes Pindaz on the extreme inside. He backs out of it. He does not want to make it 3 wide into this corner. Mabey now tries to cut down. Can't quite make it stick. Yes, he does. And now Dino's going to fall back to 5th position. That outside restart just continues to cause issues. There are 2 cars getting into it further back, but they stay straight for the moment. We'll stay green for a little while longer here. So Dino Prime's insistence on being on the outside on these restarts just is not working for him. Now Pindaz looks to the inside of Mabey, can't make it stick. Mabey stabilizes himself in 2nd position at the moment. Claiming Racing's already opened up a half-second gap on MabeyRacing at this stage of the event. The fight is for 2nd. Pindaz now has a run to the inside of Mabey. The number 3 slides wide, very nearly gets squeezed into the wall. Pindaz gets ahead of him now. Still, Jack Broseph is between Mabey and Dino, and Tactical Fall, who's involved in that incident earlier, has recovered up to 6th position, so he is on a move up through the field. He is now going on the outside of Dino Prime. He's got a toe off of Jack Broseph from that number 1 machine ahead. Dino just can't seem to make these fights work on these restarts. I think Dino may be a little bit more comfortable with the car. Oh, and that's going to be an incident, and the number 1 is flipping. The number 1 has completely rolled over as him and Tac went side by side in the corner and sandwiched the number 1 into the outside. That will most definitely be a yellow flag. A dramatic incident. And Jack Broseph, who is one of the drivers who had been fighting amongst the title contenders at the head of the field, the car is in absolutely horrendous shape now. So, this also means that Mabey has dropped back to 3rd and Dino has dropped back to 4th. This is one of the worst restart positions that Mabey will have been in thus far today. Again, lap 136, I believe, is the lap timer we're looking at, unless we have to start doing some green-white checkered overdrives here. And some drivers pit, some drivers don't. Pindaz stays out, Mabey stays out as well. Amish Gaming stays out. Hackerman stays out. And Tactical Fallout, despite being involved in that incident, Tac's actually going to stay out. So Tac's going to cycle his way well up the grid. Claiming pitted, though. Dino Prime is going to pit as well. But yeah, Pindaz is now going to be first on this restart, and I have to wonder who's going to choose to be on the outside. Dino is going to be all the way down 7th. This is going to be one of the worst restart positions he's had thus far. But if there's no one ahead of him who wants to be on that outside on the restart, and he just goes from 7th to 2nd, it might overall be a net positive for him. All right, with the exception of Jack Broseph, the entire field is just about gathered up here. Now the field is giving up, and it looks like it's going to be Amish gaining this time. Amish is going to be the driver who is going to be leading the outside line this time around. And again, Dino in that number 77, where is he going to be? He is going to be 3rd car on the outside. Tactical Fallout is the 3rd car on the inside. MabeyRacing is going to be 2nd, and Tack is coming into the pits now. So Tack is coming into the pits as they come to the green flag. He might get trapped a lap down as we are underway here. And Amish, a horrible, horrible start. Pindaz gets a great run. Maybe gets an even better run. Amish slips to 3rd. He now gets knocked to the outside. He goes to 4th. Might even fall out of the top 5. Now Dino gets to his inside as they come down the back straightaway. So Pindaz now leads MabeyRacing. Mabey goes to his inside. There's Claiming Racer behind Mabey. He'll try and follow through. 71 into the outside wall, further back, Claiming to the inside of Mabey. They're 3 wide as they come out. Mabey leads at the line, Claiming on Mabey's inside. The inside gets so much stronger. If you have the inside, you seem to have these positions by default. Pindaz gives Mabey a bit of a shove, but the 3 car isn't going anywhere fast. Now Packerman has a run to the inside of Mabey. Claiming has already opened up a 2-10-second gap on 2nd position now. Tactical Fallout is at risk of potentially going a lap down if they can keep it green, but it's been hard for these drivers to keep it green for any significant period of time thus far today on most of the oval races this season, honestly. So Mabey has slipped to 3rd, but he is still 2 spots ahead of Dino Prime. Those spots need to be flipped. Dino needs to be 2 spots ahead of Mabey if Dino wants to steal the championship for him. So right now, Mabey has the advantage in the championship fight. Pindaz holding station behind Mabey at the moment. Field seems to single filed out just a little bit here. Might get a good long green flag run, and if we do, Claiming would be in a fantastic place because Claiming is on some fresh tires. He will open up a massive gap on the rest of the field here. NFL Racer now looks to the inside there of Pindaz. Neck and neck for that position, 4th and 5th. Dino has slipped back to 8th at the moment. He's just kind of fallen off pace here in this stage. Maybe he's just trying to turn laps and hope that the race will come back to him as it goes on. Maybe still tucked up behind Packerman at the moment. Claiming leads, but he's not screwed away from the field like we've seen earlier. Now NFL Racer, despite having 2 incidents earlier in the event, he's making his way up through the field. NFL to the inside of Mabey, neck and neck, side by side as they go through turn number 3. Mabey up high, NFL low. Inside line is the line of choice for sure. NFL completes the overtake before they exit turn 4. Now Mabey is under threat from Jack Broseph, who had rolled that car just a few laps earlier. Now Jack is on his inside, and just behind Jack is going to be Fraught Meteor. But Dino Prime has completely fallen off the pace. What has happened to Dino at this stage of the event? No damage to the car as far as I can tell. It just seems like he's kind of lost the plot right now. None of your championship contenders are in the top 4 position. And if Fraught Meteor gets by Mabey here, we could see a scenario where none of our championship contenders are in the top 5. Meanwhile, at the front, Claiming Racing is trying to hold off a run by Packerman and NFL Racer. NFL now looks to the inside of Packerman, gets to that left rear quarter panel, scoots the number 70 car wide coming out of turn 2, but Packerman will use that as a chance to get extra straight line speed and a bit of a run down the straight. Claiming holding station, Packer trying to stay in Claiming's draft as a defense against NFL Racer right now. Jack Broseph is just a little bit behind the group, side by side for 5th position, and it looks like Fraught Meteor has finally gotten by Mabey. And now Pindaz is coming into the pits. So that will almost guarantee to see him get trapped a lap down unless he gets a fantastic run coming out of the pits here. I don't see that happening. Side by side for 2nd. NFL got Packerman a little sideways. Now NFL is going to put the nose to Claiming. Side by side coming out of the final corner. NFL inside, Claiming outside. It's a drag race going into turn number 1. And NFL sails into the lead in turn 1. Not really anything that Claiming can do. Claiming trapped on the outside, and now Jack Broseph gets to his inside. Jack makes it inside. 3 wide for a lead going down the back straightaway. 3 wide going into turn number 3, and the driver on top is going to be Jack Broseph. He does a slide jump on NFL. That causes the NFL to get backed up, and now Claiming on the extreme outside gets by all of them again. Claiming is back at the front at the line. Jack has a run on the inside, but he aborts. He'll fall back in line behind that number 13 for the moment. Jack holding a bit tighter line this time, Claiming opening the steering wheel just a little bit past the apex of corners 1 and 2. NFL Racers now in 3rd place once again. Packerman is 4th, Front Meteor is 8th, and now Front Meteor is 5th, and MabeyRacing has slipped back to a distant 6th. Maybe has slapped the outside wall further back there. It seems like for all of our championship contenders, they are having a rough time of it right now. It is the non-tile contenders who are really putting on the show right now. NFL trying to figure out a way to get alongside Jack Broseph. So single file for top 4 positions, 9 more. Jack has a run on Claiming. Jack goes to the inside of Claiming, side by side. He'll dive deep in. He'll try a slide job. He'll do the slide job and ends up missing it. Now Claiming gets back by him as they come out of turn number 4. Oh, nose to tail for a top 5 positions going into turn 1 again here. So about 101 laps left in the event right now. Jack Broseph continues to be very aggressive against Claiming, but he's got NFL Racer behind to take care of. Now Jack's going to come to the inside again. He'll try the slide job on Claiming again. This time he'll do it, maybe without losing the position in the process. Yes, Jack comes up, blocks Claiming's run out of the corner. Jack leads at the line. Now NFL has a run to the inside of Claiming. Jack's a little wide there. NFL is going to get to the inside of Claiming, but is having a little bit of trouble completing the overtake here. The draft that Claiming is gaining off of Jack going down the straights is good enough to pull him back ahead. Now he crosses over. He'll be the one to dive to the inside of Jack going into turn 3. He'll do the crossover. He will easily clear the number 1, and it's NFL who will outrun all of them out of turn 4. They'll be side by side at the line. NFL leads once again this time, and now it's Front Meteor who will be 3 wide for a 2nd position on the extreme inside, but he has to back out of it. Claiming has a better run coming out of turn number 2 on the inside of NFL Racer. He is by. NFL now falls to 2nd, might lose the position of Packerman on his inside. They come into turn number 3 once again. So Claiming now gets into the lead. He seems to be the stronger of these 5 drivers, but he is not strong enough to pull away from this group by any means, it seems. MabeyRacing coming into the pit lane. We are in our longest green flag run of the day thus far. Mind you, Mabey is not yet pitted today, so this is going to likely trap them at a lap down or pretty close to being a lap down. NFL Racer now completes the overtake on Claiming down the back straightaway. He is clear, just barely clear. Claiming is going to stick it to the outside. Now he'll try a crossover in turn number 4. NFL slides wide, but Claiming slides a little wide as well. The 63 slaps the outside wall. He's going to lose all of his positions. He has lost a huge chunk of time sliding against the outside wall. NFL goes from leading the race to 2 seconds out of the lead. Now it is Front Meteor who takes the fight to Claiming. Front Meteor to the inside of Claiming. He'll complete the slide job coming out of turn number 2. Claiming will cross over, dive to the inside, side by side from position as they go into turn number 3 now. Claiming on the inside. Front Meteor washes wide. Packerman is going to try and follow Claiming through. Packerman gets to the inside. Front Meteor side by side for 2nd position now. NFL Racer is about 2 seconds out from this fight, but maybe he can just start banging out clean laps without too much issue here. We see Packerman get cut down by Front Meteor as Front Meteor continues to hold 2nd position. Claiming still leads, but it's not by a massive amount right now. He has not been able to pull away from the field at all. His tires are at 44% wear here at the head of the field. For Front Meteor, who is right into 2nd position, his tires are at 47% wear right now. And for Packerman, who is in 3rd, as Jack Broseph has just made a pit, Packerman is at 58% tire wear. He has absolutely burnt up the rubber in that car right now. NFL Racer runs in 4th position, 50% tire wear, and he's almost out of fuel. In fact, NFL Racer will have to pit this lap, I imagine. At the front, Claiming Racer continues to hold station over Front Meteor. Front now dives to the inside of Claiming Racer, side by side. Now Front has to back out of it. He slides wide. That lets Claiming open up the gap to about 2/10 as they come out of turn number 4. 4th place NFL Racer will come in the pits. And now, one of our championship contenders goes back into the top 5 position. Dino Prime 77 is going to cycle all the way up into the 4th spot after this. But the question is going to be, what is his fuel tires looking like? He's only got 33% wear on that right front, 23% on the fuel. So right now in the track position game, he is winning by a significant amount. Packerman has completely lost touch with Front Meteor and Claiming, and now Packerman pits out third position. So Claiming and Front Meteor lead this field right now. 50% tire wear for Claiming Racer, 19% fuel, leading Front Meteor, who runs in second position. He is looking at 54% tire wear with 39% fuel right now. Dino Prime is about 9 seconds out of this fight. Tactical Fallout is back there in ninth. Minder, he pitted coming to the green flag. He's just barely staying on the lead lap, and now our leaders are coming in. Claiming Racer coming in the pits, Front Meteor coming in the pits. So this should cycle the race lead back to Dino Prime, I imagine. So Dino Prime, who has spent a lot of time today dealing and struggling with starts and restarts on these longer green flag runs and playing the track position game well, he leads at this stage of the race on lap 44, realistically 42, but lap 44 of a 136 lap event here at Homestead Miami Speedway. He has a 1.4 second lead over King Racing Leo in that number 93 machine. Leo is at 54% left in the tank, but 58% tire wear right now. He will have to pit for tires before he'll have to pit for fuel, that is for sure. But that also means he'll probably be able to make a nice quick stop in the pits. For Dino, he has still got 17% in the fuel tank. He's only at 39% on that right front right now. I think Dino may have selected to run on a harder compound of tires so he could go a lot farther on the run here to try and open up the gap at the moment. Now Tactical Fallout has cycled around to 5th position. Again, he pitted as the field came to the green flag, so he's about 7/10 of a lap behind our leaders, but he is still on the lead lap. If the yellow flag comes and bunches the field up, he is not in a horrible position at the moment. Meanwhile, for MabeyRacing, Navy has now cycled back onto the lead lap after the drivers who were leading earlier pitted. He is at 20% tire wear, 43.3% fuel at the moment. Dino is opening the gap on King Racing Leo at the moment. Here's the thing to watch though. Claiming Racer and Front Meteor, 6th and 7th positions right now. They were realistically the leaders before they made their first round of stops. We have pretty much completed almost our entire first round of stops. We still need to wait for King Racing Leo. As I say that, King Racing Leo has come to the pit. We need to wait for Dino Prime and then Tactical Fallout to make their stops. Then we'll have completed our first round of stops. Tactical Fallout is just coming to the pits as I say that, but Dino is going nice and long. He is on a harder tire compound. He is not burning up that right front super aggressively. He still has some fuel left in the tank, but not a lot. He'll likely have to pit in the next 3 to 4 laps here. Once he does that, we'll likely go under the yellow flag, well, not under the yellow flag, we'll go under commercial to knock that out as we under our longest green flag run thus far of the day in a 136 lap race. We are not quite a third of the way through right now, and it is Dino Prime 77, the winless championship contender, who leads here at Homestead Miami. 4 drivers are a lap down. Tactical Fallout is dead last on the track right now. GTA Design is a lap down as well, as is Pindaz in 11th and King Racing Leo 01, who is 10th at the moment. Claiming Racer is 18 seconds, so about 6/10 of a lap or so behind Dino on track right now. Most of the fights on the track have broken up, but there is this possibility of a fight. If Front Meteor catches Claiming, or if Packerman catches Front Meteor, we could have a fight. Packer pitted a few laps earlier than Front Meteor and Claiming, but I think that may have come down to the fact that he was burning up his tires faster because he had pitted earlier than the 2 ahead. So he is kind of behind the 8 ball compared to those 2 when it comes to strategy. It looks like it will likely be Claiming Racer who is in the best position to win this race, unless someone like Dino or Amish can pull out some incredible strategy here right now. There is a bit of a fight going on, though, for 10th and 11th, as Pindaz is fighting with King Racing Leo legitimately for positions, 10th and 11th, and that is second place Amish Gaming right behind them. Once Dino pits, these 2 drivers will automatically circle back onto the lead lap. King Racing Leo slaps the outside wall. Is he able to continue? He is. There is no damage on the car. He should be able to continue without issue. But now he'll fall to 12th behind GTA Design and might end up losing a position of Tack, depending on how quickly Tack can get back up there. That is Fire Guy, who moved up into 3rd position now. He slaps the outside wall, though. And now Dino Prime comes into the pit lane. So we gotta see where he's gonna end up in relation to Claiming Racing. Claiming very nearly in the outside wall as they came down the back straightaway. Claiming is opening up the gap on those drivers. And now second place Amish Gaming has pitted along with Dino. So Amish and Dino seem to be on relatively similar strategies at this stage of the event. but the field is nice and spread out. A lot more merit driving and strategy driving. If you want to fill up with a heavy tank of fuel and put on some hard tires, you'll be nice and slow, but you may not have to pit again later in the event. Thing is, if you do that on starts and restarts, if we get any, you are going to be absolutely murdered on them. So Fire Guy leads right now. He is the only driver who has yet to make a pit stop. But we're going to go ahead as we see Dino Prime has circled back onto the track in 8th, about 11 seconds behind Mabey. So not looking great for Dino's position. It seems like Mabey for the moment has the track position advantage. We'll knock out a ad break. We'll be back after these messages. Oh, wow, that's too wide. Well, welcome back to Miami as Claiming Racer has gotten by Fire Guy on track on a 3-wide overtake, and now Fire Guy will go ahead and knock out a pit stop. Tactical Fall is trapped now, a lap down to the leader on Mary. He just does not have the pace. Seems like of our 3 championship contenders, Mabey has been the fastest. Dino is trying to play the smart game. Tack just seems to be kind of stuck in no man's land in the middle to rear of the field most of the day right now. Claiming Racer has been by far the fastest driver of the day, but Front Meteor is staying close enough to keep Claiming Racer honest. There could be a fight between these two for this race win, depending on how things go here. As they're coming up now on GGA Design, trying to put GGA Design a lap down. He would be the 3rd driver to go a lap down in today's event. I real quickly want to look at the fuel and tire wear again. Because this is Forza, you do have multiple tire options for NASCAR, softs, mediums, and hards. And I have to wonder if these drivers at the head of the field are running mediums or softs, because they are burning through their tire life pretty quickly here. And they're not putting a lot of fuel in either. They are going for short pit stops, short fuel, and going really hard on track on their fresher rubber. This is Packerman, who's a little farther back, who's on the same strategy, but he is behind them to several laps. MabeyRacing runs in 4th, and Mabey is not in a great position already at 60%. Someone very nearly hit him there. Who was that? That may have been Fire Guy or Keen Racing Leo. I think it may have been Leo there. But yeah, MabeyRacing, who runs in 4th position, has already really burnt some heavy wear into those tires of his right now. And he'll have to pit. Dino is running a harder tire compound and putting more fuel in the tank. He's trying to skip an entire stop, basically, compared to the rest of the field. If we stay green to the end, that would be huge turnout for Dino, but would it be enough for him to get ahead of Dino? Because when Mabey is on fresher rubbers, Mabey is running laps are much, much faster than Dino. Again, cutting out an entire pit stop, that's like cutting out almost 8/10 of a distance, as Mabey is pitting now already out of the 4th position, and he will inevitably fall behind. Dino will likely be at risk of going a lap down to our leaders, Claiming Racing and Front Meteor. And these two drivers have been the class of the field today. Claiming started on the pole and has led the most laps. Front Meteor didn't start quite as high up. It was a bit of a struggle for him to climb his way up through the grid. But under these longer green flag runs, he's got up there on merit. He is having a very, very solid day by all intents and purposes. And yes, MabeyRacing in pit lane right now. He has now gone a lap down, 9th position, and he is just barely ahead of tactical fallout. In fact, no, he will fall behind tactical fallout at the moment. In fact, I'm curious, what is Tac's strategy on fuel and tires? I think he's doing the same thing that Dino is running. He is running a harder tire compound with heavier fuel load, trying to go longer, hoping that maybe cutting out a pit stop will let him leap ahead of MabeyRacing and maybe get back onto the lead lap. Again, this looks like this race may come down to how long does this green flag run go? How many drivers are going to go a lap down? How many laps down are these drivers going to end up going? And again, if we start having yellow flags, all these drivers who are a lap down will get a lap back. But if they end up going 2-3 laps down, it may take them 2-3 yellows to get back on the lead lap. That could really shake things up a bit. And again, tire strategy, fuel strategies are going to be really, really wild. I do think, though, that for Claiming Racing, he's now opened up the gap between himself and Fraught Meteor. But I think for Claiming Racing and Fraught Meteor, these two drivers are fast enough. They can afford to be running more aggressively on their tires, making an extra stop, and they can still likely pull out of here with a top 3 finish for each of them. I think Claiming is fast enough. He's going to win this race, irregardless of what happens today. Packerman has actually kind of rebounded a bit. He is starting to close in a little bit on Fraught Meteor at this stage of the event, but that right front is at 60%, where he also has a lot of fuel in the tank, and Claiming is pitting early. So Claiming is pitting about the halfway point of this event. Against a 136 lap race roughly, and Claiming is making a pit stop now. So is NFL Racer. I have to wonder, for Claiming in NFL, are they putting on hard tires, a full tank of fuel, and going to try and run to the end? Bet on some yellows to keep everything going and just stay out front to the end of this race. But now Fraught Meteor goes back to the lead. NFL Racer will likely lose a lap to... No, here comes Fraught Meteor into the pits now. So now it's the Packerman who cycles into the race lead. So at the halfway point, a lot of drivers now pitting slightly off sequence from when we thought they would, and Packerman is going a little longer, so Packerman now cycles to the lead of this race. This also puts Tactical Fallout back onto the lead lap, although Mabey is still trapped a lap down at the moment. Dino Prime is now cycled back into the 3rd position now as well. And he has only put about almost 40% on that right front. He still has 2/3 of the fuel tank left. He can go for a while. Packerman now goes into the pits, so it will now be Jack Brosup, who had rolled his car earlier, but he's been a very strong fighter. He will now go back to leading laps here at Miami. But the field is nice and spread out, and with all those drivers pitting, now everyone except for Pindaz, who is 13th, is on the lead lap once again. But how long is that going to last? Packerman now pits. Is still in the pit lane. I didn't mean he now pits. He is still in the pit lane. Jack Brosup is getting caught very rapidly by Dino. I think Jack's going to have to pit here as his tires are likely falling off. And under this longer green flag run, Dino seems to have it hooked up. 48% wear for Jack right now. He is trapped behind Fire Guy. I think Jack may be on a similar, not the same, but a similar strategy to Dino, but he is a little bit more advanced when it comes to his tire life than Dino is at this stage of the event, and that 77 is closing on Jack. So a large number of leaders in today's event, and it's going to be really hard to tell where all of our faster drivers are going to end up at the end of this. Claiming Racer going down the back straightaway. 71%, I have to wonder, is Claiming on a harder tire compound now, going to try and go to the end on a hard tire compound with a full tank of fuel, or something very close to a full tank of fuel. He didn't actually do a full tank in. I think he may have only done 80%. But trying to go long now to cut out pit stop later on. Dino committed to this whole cut out pit stop strategy nice and early as they came to this restart. And he is now within 0.6 of Jack Brosup, as Brosup is really struggling his way through traffic. Yes, GGA Design and NFL Racer, they are fighting with each other for position and trying to keep Jack Brosup and Dino behind. Dino now comes to the inside of Fire Guy, who is already a lap down. NFL Racer to the inside of GGA, neck and neck for 10th position. And again, your race leader, Jack Brosup, runs right behind Jack, nearly to the outside wall there. And now Dino is within a half second of Jack Brosup. Jack just cannot get by GGA or NFL Racer. Riding on the hood of that number 77 as the leader, Jack Brosup running right ahead of him. Dino and Jack are on radically different strategies. GGA squeezed to the outside by Jack, but Jack has found it clear, but Dino had a much better run out for. He's coming to the inside. They're going to be side by side here. In the middle of a long green flag run, we have a fight for position on merit, and it is Dino who goes to lead here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Jack, is he going to try and fight back? Does not seem to have the stability or the speed in the car. His tire wear is a little bit more advanced than Dino's, and he seems to be losing ground. So right now, 3 drivers are a lap down. GGA Design, Fire Guy, and Pindaz. Claiming Racer is in 3rd position right now. He is almost guaranteed to win this race based off of his speed. He will inherit the lead back once Dino and Jack go ahead and make their stops, but who knows how much longer that could be. Dino is only now at 58% wear. We've seen some drivers push that tire wear out to about the 60 or 65% range. How long is Dino going to stay out there? That is another silver card in the wall. I think that's King Leo. Yes, that is Leo who comes to the pits, and Jack Broseph is going to come to the pits as well. Leo likely to hit that wall due to the tire wear being so advanced, but now Dino is going to open up the gap on second as Jack pits, and second will now go to Claiming Racer, the man who started on pole and more than likely is going to win this race, as we are under a fantastic long green flag run here at Miami. Once we see Dino go ahead and make his stop, we'll knock out our next ad break here. Normally I would try to knock them out under yellow flags, but we are under a fantastic green flag run with a lot of very interesting strategy, unique strategy circumstances. And look at this, Dino has actually put Jack Broseph a lap down. So Jack lost so much time refueling the car, putting new tires on, just did not have a good time getting into the pits or back out. Jack is now a lap down to Dino as Dino comes into the pits now. And now we will see the race lead go back to this man here, Claiming Racing, who we believe is on a harder tire compound. I don't think he's going to be able to go to the end on this compound. I think he's going to have one more stop that he'll have to make. But Claiming is going much, much farther than he has the last few times. And right now, he is with only a second ahead of Packerman. Packer has actually kind of clawed some gap that he had to Claiming back over the last stint. And now it is Packerman who is keeping Claiming honest instead of Fraught Meteor. Fraught Meteor has fallen back, and now we have a new driver in 3rd place. He was a lap down earlier. Now it is grand, he is off sequence, but Tactical Fallout has now cycled his way into the 3rd position. He's only got 53% wear on that outside tire. He's got 37% still in the tank. So Tac's gonna be able to run for a little bit longer here. He has now gone from being trapped at the back of the grid. He has been silently putting together some strong, consistent laps. He's trying to cut out a pit stop. He's on a sequence similar to Dino, and it looks like for right now, that has cycled him all the way to the 3rd position. But again, strategies are all over the place right now here at... Oh, wait, Packer's gotten by Claiming. What's happened to Claiming? Something has happened to Claiming as he has fallen behind Packerman. I don't see any damage to the car, but he seems to have lost pace just a little bit, and now it is Packerman who is leading. So none of our outright championship contenders really seem to have the speed to be able to win this race. We are looking at 2 different races. The race for the championship and the race between Packer, Claiming, and Fraught Meteor for the race win. Although Fraught Meteor has kind of fallen off the back of this for a bit, it is now Packer, who a little bit past the halfway point of this event, has kind of taken point at the head of this field. So here's something else. MabeyRacing is climbing back up the rank. He is 5th right now, and he is at 33% wear, 20% fuel. I think Mabey is still committing to running softer tires with smaller fuel loads, just trying to go fast and hard. And to be fair, Mabey is making plenty of passes, but he is dropping solely away, I think, out of the overall strategy fight. Tactical Fallout now pits out 3rd, so this will cycle Mabey into 4th as he is fighting with Fraught Meteor for 3rd. This will likely cycle Dino back into 7th. Also at this moment, our top 10 drivers are all still on the lead lap right now. Pindaz, King Racing Leo, and GGA Design. They are the only 3 who are a lap down at this stage of the event. But that continues to twist and turn as all these drivers on their radically different pit stop strategies all continue to make their stops and try to make something work. Mabey slaps the outside wall and lets Fraught Meteor get back by. And he's not the only one. I think that was Pindaz who just slapped the outside wall just a little bit behind in that 17 Raycon machine. He is in a, well, he's not really in a fight for position right now, but he was trying to stay ahead of some cars and just could not make it work. Packerman is opening up the gap on Claiming Racer. Very much unexpected. Claiming fastest in qualifying, fastest in the first half of this race, but now you look at the sky, it is dark, the lights have turned on, the track is going to change. Also, the track's going to get nice and rubbered in now. I have to wonder if maybe he's claiming was happier when the track was a little bit greener, had less rubber on it, and was warmed up. Now the track has cooled off a bit. Is Packerman, who has gone to the point and is starting to stretch his legs and run away from the field right now. I have to wonder if that has something to do with it. The other thing it could be, are they on alternate strategies? 44.8% on that right front for Packer, with about 33% in the tank. For Claiming Racer, he has 42% in the tank, 30%. So that could be the other thing. Packerman did pit earlier than Claiming, but again, normally that seems to be a problem. Pitting earlier only gives you like 1 to 3 laps advantage, and then you start being behind the 8 ball for the rest of the run. Right now, that is not the case. Claiming just does not seem to have it. Look, I keep thinking, does he have engine damage? Does he have steering damage? Brain damage? Something? I don't see any damage. I don't know what the problem is. Is he just trying to save fuel? Let's see, is he trying to save fuel? I don't think he's trying to save fuel, or if he is, it's such a small lift that's not really doing anything. It seems like Claiming has just legitimately lost the pace, and Packerman is the driver who has really opened it up at this stage of the event. Amish Gaming going ahead and knocking out a pit stop. We're about to start ranked to our next round green flag stop, so we'll knock out an ad break here, and then when we be back, we will continue to see how this strategy game continues to unfold here at the Homestead Miami Speedway Championship finale for IFEA's NASCAR Series. All right, welcome back here to Homestead Miami Speedway. MabeyRacing, who had cycled his way back up into third, has now made another pit stop, and this will drop him back off of the lead lap. Dino Prime continues to run long on these harder tires with a full fuel tank. He wants to try and be way ahead of MabeyRacing and Tactical Fallout at the end of this event. Dino is trying to do something that I don't think anyone, well, very few drivers have done in NASCAR history. I think the most famous would be Alan Kulwicki in '92, but also Tony Stewart in 2011, trying to win a championship after not leading the points at any stage of the season prior to the last race of the year. And that seems to be what Dino is trying to do, running this alternate strategy. He committed to this alternate strategy, running on these harder tires for a long time, very early in the event. Tack, I think, committed to a similar strategy, but was kind of caught about 7/10 a lap down when it started, and he's still kind of well behind everyone else. And then maybe was just going for softer tires, bang out faster laps, and I think that's starting to bite him now. Maybe seems to be losing more and more ground as this time is going on. I do think maybe has selected harder tires. I think he's gone to a medium tire this most recent stint, But still, I don't know if this strategy is going to work out. It's really hard to figure out where everyone's in strategy is going to be, because at any point, drivers could say, hey, I don't need to put hard tires on. Maybe I can only need to put mediums on. Maybe I won't even put on softs, and just go for some blitzing fast laps at the very instant of this race. And again, if we have any yellows, and I really hope we stay green to the end, because this could be a really interesting strategy race. But if we have no yellows to the end of this event, it could get really interesting, because we could have a lot of drivers making shorter pit stops on their final stop and be absolutely flying up to the grid on softer tires in the last few laps. I will say right now, though, that is Claiming Racing. He lost the lead to Packerman on merit, but Packer pitted earlier than Claiming again, so Claiming has gone back to the lead of this event. And again, Claiming, I think, is running longer on his fuel on a harder tire compound, similar to what Dino is doing right now. He is holding a roughly 10.5 to 11 second lead over Dino Prime. There's also Jack Broseph in the play. Jack Broseph is almost perfectly even with Dino on strategy. However, on track, Dino seems to have Jack's advantage right now. But early in the event, it was MabeyRacing who seemed to be the faster of our 3 championship contenders. Looked like he was going to walk out with the top 3 result. Right now, Mabey is behind Tactical Fallout. Not super far behind, but not close enough to really fight with Tack. And again, those 2 drivers, they were first and second in points. Mabey leading, Tack only 2 points behind coming into this event. And right now, they are well behind Dino. The big thing, though, is that Dino is going to have to pit. And when Dino makes his stop, well, he's going to end up back behind this duo again. And again, Mabey, I think, has been going on softer tires. Well, not this time. He's on something maybe a little bit harder this time. The tires are not burning up as quickly this circuit, I think. But still, if Mabey has to make an entire extra stop compared to Dino, that's really going to take him out of it. And then Tack has gotten to the strategy at a good time, but made his pit stop coming to the green flag. Basically ended up getting caught 7/10 of a lap behind everyone else. This could work out for Dino, but again, Mabey has been putting out some banger laps when he is on fresher rubber. I have to wonder if Mabey is going to have the speed to just overcome making an extra stop at the end of this race. But right now, only 3 drivers are on the lead lap. Claiming Racer, Dino Prime, and Jack Broseph. And again, when are these 3 going to pit? Claiming Racer is at 51% wear on that right front. Second place is Dino Prime. He is at 36% on that right front. And then Jack Broseph, who runs about 2 seconds behind Dino, he is at 40% on that right front. So we will see Claiming pitting shortly, and when he does pit, we're going to see a lot of drivers get back on the lead lap, including NFL Racer is going to get back on the lead lap, Packerman is going to get back on the lead lap, Tactical Fallout, MabeyRacing is going to get back on the lead lap, Front Meteor is going to get back on the lead lap. So a lot of these drivers who we were just talking about being off sequence, well, they're going to get back onto the lead lap in that scenario. We're also, this run's going long enough that we could end up seeing drivers going a lap down later on. Also, here's the other thing. Look at this NFL Racer. He pitted about 10 laps ago while we were under that commercial break on fresher rubber. He just ran down Claiming Racer and just completely blew by him on track. Those fresher tires are absolute destruction here. If you have a car that is really well hooked up, if you're confident with how that car handles, you can go out there and drive your way back onto the lead lap, it would appear. So NFL Racer fast enough to race his way back on the lead lap as Claiming Racer on this harder tire on a heavier fuel tank. He's coming in pits now. He is aborting. So obviously NFL Racer raced his way back on the lead lap, but we'll see Tack get back on the lead lap, Packerman get back on the lead lap, Mabey get back on the lead lap, probably Front Meteor get back on the lead lap as well. This also will cycle Dino Prime back into the lead of this race here. So about 37, 38 laps to go here. Again, unless my wires are crossed, when that lap counter says lap 136, that will be the end of the race. Now, if we have green, white, checkered overdrives, that will change it. But lap 136 is what we are expecting. The end of 136 will be the end of this race. Dino runs about 1.5 seconds ahead of Jack Broseph. Claiming Racer, after making his stop, is only falling back to 3rd right now. Well, 4th, I'll take that back. He will be 4th as coming out of the pit lane, NFL Racer had the speed to get ahead of him. But what is NFL Racer's tires looking like right now? 31% wear, 24% fuel. He can go for a little longer, but everyone's kind of all over the place, and us in the booth, we don't have a way to tell what tire compound these drivers are at. If we were on a traditional road course race, I could normally tell you and work out what drivers are on soft, mediums, or hards, but here at an oval, the lap times and the rate of tire wear vary so extreme based on the line you're at, how much of a draft you have. It's really hard to tell what kind of tires everyone is on. I'm in the dark just as much as everyone else who is watching the races right now at this stage of the event. But right now, our top 8 drivers are all on the lead lap. The 9th place Amish Game, 10th place Fire Guy, 11th place GGA Design are all lapped down. Pindaz in 12th is 2 laps down, as is Keen Racing Leo in 13th position right now. There is a fight between Fraught Meteor and Packerman. These two were fighting with each other for position at the head of the field earlier in the event, but I think they've just kind of lost the pace. They're not able to go as far on their tires or fuel as Claiming is, and Claiming can go farther while maintaining a little bit more of his pace. These two are going closer to full speed. And now Packerman pits again. And it's crazy because Packerman had a stage in this event just about the time when the night came out where he was burning some incredible laps, just got into the lead ahead of Claiming and pulled out about a 3.5 second lead. But, yeah, it's all kind of falling apart now. But here's the thing, with about 33 laps to go, the pit stops that everyone is making now, they're going to be the last stops that everyone makes to the end of this event. For Dino Prime, running in first position right now, he's going to have to pit. He's not going to be able to stay out here to the end of this race. He's going to have to pit. The big question is going to be, what tires will be able to put in? How much fuel will be able to put in? Will he go ahead, put in a softer tire compound, and try and race his way back up through the grid? Because once he pits, he's likely going to end up behind Tactical Fallout and MabeyRacing. Tac, right now, runs in 5th position. He is ahead of Mabey at the moment. He is at 43%, but again, 19% left in the tank. Tac does not have the fuel to make it to the end. MabeyRacing, who runs just behind, in 6th. Does he have the fuel to make it to the end? 37%. That's a little bit closer, but still not going to work. He's got 27% on the tire, so all of our race lead, all of our championship contenders right now are going to have to make another stop before the end of this race. I think the first driver who we really don't have to worry about stopping again to the end will be this man here, Claiming Racing. As Claiming runs in 4th right now. 56% in the tank. If you're only burning about a little less than 2% a lap, Claiming will have it, and honestly, Claiming should have enough advantage over the field. He could have the ability to lift and coast a little bit if the fuel numbers get a little too tight for him. And then NFL Racer, who raced his way back onto the lead lap after being involved in accidents earlier in the event. He's going to be pitting very soon here, and I think he just slapped that outside wall, which is going to further hurt him. He's going to come under threat from Claiming here. But I think Claiming is being a little bit more relaxed on his fuel and tires. I could be reading the room wrong, but I think he's being a little bit more relaxed. He's trying to cut out a pit stop, running on harder tires, burning a little bit less fuel, trying to minimize the stop right now. So their leader is Dino right now. 56% on that, 57% on that right front, 10% left in the tank. So I think Dino has about 3 laps or so left. There is someone who is stopped. That was Pindaz, who had stopped on the circuit there. Don't know what happened, but he is back underway now. I wonder if he had a spin coming out of pit lane. Just keeping an eye on him to see if something's happened. You see Fire Guy back there in 12th making another stop. Phil has gotten incredibly spread out here at Miami. Oh, and we have a caution. And Dino is your leader here under this yellow flag, it would appear. But we have a caution. Well, that long green flag run we were enjoying now kind of is thrown out the window. And the entire field will gather up. Only our top 7 drivers are on the lead lap. And I have to wonder if that had to do with whatever happened to Pindaz. I didn't see any damage on his car. But whatever happened. And now there is something else. That is Fire Guy, who is stopped on the pit lane exit. No damage, but he is stopped on pit road exit right now. Alright, now he's moving. Field running incredibly slow right now. But yeah, only our top 7 drivers are currently on the lead lap. Dino Prime is your leader, but again, 136 and we're at lap 108. You do the math, that's 24 laps to the end. I imagine everyone will go ahead, pit, and they won't have to worry about stops to the end of the race. I think this kind of took the entire strategy battle we were seeing playing out and just kind of threw it out the window here. And this is great news for Mabey, I would imagine. Maybe showed a lot of ability to get some great restarts going. Now, granted, he usually had the advantage of being at the front of the field on the restarts, but maybe showed some great advantage of getting the restarts going. Dino, on the other hand, his biggest weakness has been restarts. So it looks like they're letting one driver get back on the lead lap. That is Amish Gaming, who is getting back onto the lead lap here. But all of our championship contenders are in the top 6. Dino will, I imagine everyone who is on the lead lap will be pitting, coming to the green this time. Well, not coming to the green, but I imagine everyone on the lead lap will be pitting here. Right? No evidence that the leaders are pitting here. Are they just going to pull off to turn 4? Yes, they are. Again, I imagine almost everyone who is in the lead will pit here. And I imagine a lot of these drivers who are a lap down will get a free lap back, potentially, if they stay out. Who stays out? And there goes Packerman and King Racing Leo Pindaz. So that's basically, it's a waiver round rule. So who's going to be, of our lead group, who's going to be the first one to get out of the pit lane? That's the question now. We are on board with Dino. Flaming's ahead. NFL Racers ahead. Broseph is ahead. Dino had to do a lot more service, put a little bit more fuel in, change tires. He has now dropped from 1st to 4th on this tactical fallout, maybe stay 5th and 6th. So our 3 championship contenders are once again all on top of each other, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And it is Claiming Race who has now cycled back into the lead of this event. And now, thanks to that waiver round rule, almost the entire field will be back onto the lead lap here. All right, so now how does everyone line up on this restart? How does everyone choose their lanes? All right, seems like we're still under yellow, so I'll knock out another ad break here. And Dino makes a bad run, a bad choice again. Curses. All right, welcome back to Daytona. Fraught Meteor made an extra pit stop, as did GGA Design. But our top 9 still on the lead lap. Everyone's doubled up. Dino on the outside, Claiming on the inside as they come to the green flag. Lap 112 of lap 136. Claiming gets a push from behind by Jack Broseph once again. Dino is trapped on the outside with Tactical Fallout behind him. Tack's trying to take an extreme outside line. Dino shoots by on the outside. Dino has a bit of a run coming out turn number 2 here. Dino hasn't shown a lot of ability to fight driver versus driver today, but could that be changing? They're going to be almost 3 wide as they go into turn 3, but will be Jack Broseph who backs out of it. Claiming goes back to the lead. Dino goes to the outside of that 13, side by side for a lead, down the front straightaway. Dino has it just by a nose, side by side again going into turn number 1. Tack trying to go an extreme outside line, but there doesn't seem to be anything there. Now Dino completes the overpass on the outside. Claiming slides wide. MabeyRacing now works his way up into the 4th position. NFL Racer is back there in 5th. But Dino leads here at Homestead, Miami. He got near to the front on strategy. Then the strategy fell apart with the yellow flag. But now Dino seems to have some pace here under the lights as he has got to the lead here in the last 30 laps of this race. last about 23 laps of this race now. MabeyRacing is in third. For Mabey, if he can come home in second and Dino's the one who wins, Mabey could still possibly win this championship on countback. It will come down to who has more second places. But is Jack just going to move over or let Mabey have it? Tactical Fallout is in fourth, fighting with NFL Racer at the moment. Dino didn't have the greatest run there. A car into the wall farther back. That's Pindaz. No, that's Fire Guy, apparently. It looked like Pindaz's car. But second and third have both cost Dino. So Dino did not get to pull away from the field like Claiming had done in the daytime restarts. Our top three all on top of each other. Dino needs the field to finish in this order, with him winning and Mabey in third, so for Dino to take this championship. Now Mabey looks to the inside of Jack Brosa. Side by side for second position, he can't make the move stick. 21 to go. Mabey seems to be struggling a little bit to make a move on Jack. And Jack holds station behind Dino at the moment. Tactical Fallout runs in fourth position. Runs a tighter line through three this time, then opens the wheel, lets the car run up the track out of four. He hit the outside wall. He's hit by Mabey. It's Tactical who's by. Dino hit the outside wall. Is there damage on the car? Yes, the car is totally destroyed. And Jack Broseph is now in the lead. What of Mabey? Did he take any damage in that? Yes, Mabey took damage. Dino slid wide. Hit the outside wall. Mabey hit him, and our top two championship contenders at that point in the race now have damage, and suddenly Tactical Fallout cycles his way back into second. Tac, who no one has talked about all day long, suddenly finds himself in second, while MabeyRacing and Dino both have significant damage, and they will have to pin him in this yellow flag. They will cycle to the back of the field. And this has just kind of been indicative of Tac's runs this season. And Jack Broseph is pitting. In fact, oh my goodness, most of the field is pitting. Tac is going to stay out. NFL Racer will stay out. And all these drivers who are a lap down are going to go ahead and take the wave around to basically get back onto the lead lap here. Pindaz will cycle around with the Lucky Dog. But wow, this upends everything. Now, all of a sudden, Tactical Fallout. The guy who we've not talked about very much in a good way today, he is suddenly leading the event. And that's kind of been indicative of the races that Tac has won. He's been in the field, but not really done anything. But then things happen in the last 20-30% of the race, and all of a sudden Tactical Fallout is there at the front, ready to capitalize, and he keeps stealing wins like this, and Tac might be able to steal this championship with like this. Again, into the race, lap 136, we're at 18 laps to go when they get to the line here. I think it's going to be 17 to go when they take the green flag. Now, the big thing is that these drivers who stayed out, Tac and NFL Racer, they have more worn tires, 16.7%, compared to the people behind them. But that's not really gonna that may not matter too much if the likes of Dino and Mabey spend so much time trying to fight their way through the field. And that was completely self-inflicted on Dino's part. And now GGA Design, who is a lap down, he's going to choose to restart on the outside, I guess? No, I don't know. No, they're going to the outside, so they will get cycled to the rear of the grid. Okay, so everyone on track will be in order properly. So Jack Broseph is suddenly in third, and he has tires fresher than everyone ahead of him. NFL Racer is second now, and Tactical Fallout leads. Tac would be going for his fourth win this season. Mind you, Tac's no stranger to winning NASCAR championships. They've closed now, but IMA ran a NASCAR Goodies Dash Series championship based off of the late 90s series of that same name. Tac didn't win that championship because he ended up missing a few races, but he won over half the races, 6 out of 10 races in that season, and would have won that championship if he had just shown up to more races. Tac might be trying to rebound, turn that around now, and take home a proper title win. Again, despite it would possibly be off the back of still missing a race in this season. We are still under the yellow flag, and every lap under yellow makes things look better and better for Tac, because that means his tires are going to be in slightly better condition at the end of the race. That means there are less laps for Dino and Mabey to fight back up to the grid. So at the line, it is 17 to go, so I think we'll go green with 16 laps left in the event. All drivers, with the exception of Team Racing Leo, will be back on the lead lap now, so that long green flag run, completely irrelevant now. The thing for TAC and NFL is that everyone behind them is going to be on fresh rubber. And these two drivers, their rubber is not cooked now, but assuming we get a green flag run to the end, they will be putting some wear on that right front. And they will definitely be losing ground. But maybe it will work for them. If there's a series of restarts at the back of, caused by incidents at the back of the field, TAC and NFL Racer, if they can just get good restarts and stay at the head of the field, it could work out for them. TAC's going to choose the inside lane. NFL is going to be on the outside. So both lanes on this restart are going to be crowded by cars on older tires. There'll be a 16 laps to the checkers here, assuming we don't have to do green-white checkered overdrives. Field's a lot more doubled up this time. Maybe, I think, is on the outside. Dino is on the inside. No, maybe is on the inside. Dino. Whatever. Anyways, coming to the green flag. We are underway here. TAC had a great shot this time. Immediately clears NFL. NFL immediately falls into nearly a three-wide fight for third. But Tactical Fallout is now the championship man on point. He leads, but Jack Broseph has a huge run of steam on the outside. NFL Racer is trying to follow him. TAC inside. Jack outside, but it seems like in the night, the outside line is a little bit more powerful. TAC can't do anything to fight back. Jack Broseph goes in the lead. Here comes Claiming now. Claiming seems to have gotten his mojo back. He is already back in the third position. And now he looks to make a move, maybe on Tactical Fallout. Dino is ahead of Maybe, but it is TAC who is in second right now, who is in the catbird seat for the championship. As we continue to watch our second place driver, Jack rushes high. TAC gets a run. Side by side for a lead. Down the front straightaway. TAC goes back to the lead of the race. Claiming wants to make it three wide, but there's just no room. He'll take an inside tighter line. Try to get alongside Jack Broseph here. TAC may have more worn tires, but right now that's not holding him up too much. He tries to block Jack. Jack goes for a deep inside line. TAC washes out wide. Here comes Jack on the inside. He can't keep it together. TAC's into the outside wall. He doesn't lose all his speed, but he loses a huge chunk of it and will lose quite a bit of time. Another car's in the wall farther back, but now TAC is all in the fourth. He's still in the catbird seat of the championship. Maybe his fifth. Dino has slipped to 10th. Jack and Claiming are fighting for this race win with Front Meteor back into the fray as well. Side by side for a lead. Meteor trying to give Claiming a push on the inside. Jack on the outside can't seem to make it work at the moment. MabeyRacing has the run, trying to get ahead of NFL. Dino has completely lost touch with the field. Unless there's another yellow flag to bunch the field up, Dino's chances at winning this title are basically over. It's TAC versus Maybe by the looks of it. And TAC has caught back to the rear of this lead pack here. Front to the inside of Claiming now. Jack Broseph washes wide. Tactical Fallout runs in fourth at the moment. Maybe is just about to catch this lead pack. Front Meteor blocks inside, blocks outside. Claiming has a run to the inside. TAC's gonna try and follow him. Jack falls back to fourth on the extreme outside line this time. Claiming side by side with Front Meteor. Here comes Tactical Fallout on the inside. His tires are more worn, but is he still gonna try and make a move? He follows, he looks to the inside. He's not gonna push the issue too heavily though. Maybe has caught the fight for the lead. It is now a 5-car fight at the head of the field. TAC on the outside makes his way up into the third position, but has to hold off Broseph. Claiming and Front Meteor continue to drag race going into turn 1. TAC runs right behind the driver on the inside line. Claiming slides up a little bit, gives a little bit of a door-to-door contact with Front Meteor. TAC has a run. He just decides to give Claiming a push down the straight. Try to push the 13 out ahead and break up this 2x2 fight ahead of him. Maybe is now right behind Jack Broseph. He's trying to look for a way by. TAC to the inside of Front Meteor. Side by side for a second. TAC's moved into second now. Maybe is in fifth. But Tack is in second, in position to steal this championship despite not being in contention pretty much all day long. Now Tack goes to the inside of Claiming Racer. He slides wide. Claiming pulls the overcut, the crossover, on corner exit. Drag race to the line. Tack barely has it, but Claiming will be side by side with him going into turn 1, and Front Meteor is now going to be on the inside as well. Tack is holding the outside line to the best of his ability. Is a 4-car group here at the very front, and then 5th place NFL and 6th place Mabey are kind of in the conversation, but not really. Tack shoots to the nose, gets his nose ahead, coming out of the final corner, barely keeps the car off the wall. He leads again. 7 laps to go now at the line. Claiming inside, Tack outside. Front Meteor is in 3rd. But is he gonna be able to make a move? Does he try to make it 3 wide? No, he tries to block instead from Jack Broseph. Tack lost it. He gets squeezed. Tack gets squeezed towards the outside by Front Meteor. Suddenly Tack slides back to 4th. This could still win the championship though, if he finishes 4th, because Mabey is still stuck in 6th, and Dino is back there in very distant 7th right now. NFL Racer now gets to the inside of Tack. Is Tack feeling his tires falling off? Is Tack dealing with tire fall off? There's a car sideways going down the back straightaway. Who is that? Someone has hit the wall. Something nasty. That is Fire Guy by the looks of it. No damage. He keeps going. But we are under the yellow flag. Fire Guy had some decent runs. He was trying to set up farther back, but spun out, went a little bit too aggressively, and now we are under the yellow flag. Again, the race will end at lap 136 unless we have to do green-white checkered overdrives. Tack will fall out 4th, MabeyRacing 6th, Dino Prime in 7th. Tack has tires that are more worn than everyone around him except for NFL. Look at this wear, 47%. MabeyRacing and Dino have much fresher tires. And then at the front, who's it going to be? Claiming Racing. Could it be Jack Broseph? Could it be Front Meteor? Any of our top 3 could seriously have a shot at stealing this race win here. But suddenly, the complexity of this race changes once again. And that is, I believe, Keen Racing Leo, who will go ahead and get us wait around to get back on the lead lap. And Claiming Racer is going to pit. Front Meteor is going to pit. Jack Broseph stays out. Tack will fall. All right, so this gets interesting. Jack Broseph stays out. Tack will fall out, stays out. Dino stays out. But Mabey pits. So now Dino has tires that are fresher than Tack, and he's going to be behind him. And Jack Broseph has some of the freshest tires in the field, and he's going to be at the head. Mabey is going to be cycled nearly to the rear of the grid after this. He has elected to go ahead and put fresh rubber on again. And Dino, he is going to have 35. Oh my goodness, Dino's tires are not in great position either. I mean, they'll last to the end. It's not like he's going to be hanging yellow. But those drivers who just went ahead and pitted, they will definitely be experiencing a tire advantage, to say the least. This championship could go any way. Tack has the track position, but his tires are much, much more worn. Dino has better tires, but they still have a lot more wear than Mabey, who's just pitted. But Mabey is now 12th, second to last in the field. We're going to be 3 laps to go. Oh my goodness, it's going to be 3 laps to go. We're going to watch Tactical fall on this restart here. GGA Design looks like he's going to be restarting second on the inside line. This could be on track for one of his best runs ever. 3 laps to go here at Homestead Miami Speedway. The green flag falls, and we are off. Jack Broseph immediately gets a run without issue. In fact, the top 3 all kind of single file out without too much problem here. As it is now, Tack has the championship. Dino needs to get by this number 4 if he wants to steal the title. Dino has tires fresher than Tack, but will the freshness be enough to let him get by? When they get to the line, it'll be 2 laps to go. MabeyRacing is still there in 11th. Tack runs wide. Dino looks to the inside. Tack has a run on Jack. 3 wide, farther back. Tack's got a run. Side by side for the race win now. 2 laps to go. Tack outside. Jack inside. Dino has a run. Dino gets to the inside. A A lap and a half left for the championship. A lap and a half left for this race. Jack Broseph leads. How aggressively does Dino fight back? Tack's trying to set up a return move on Dino. Will it be enough? Maybe. Is only up to 10th right now on the fresher rubber. White flag. Dino got to the inside of Jack. Jack's wide. Tack tries to follow. Wait, was that it? Was that the race over? Was that it? I thought it was 135, not one. Well, if it was the last lap, if that was the last lap, then Jack won the race and Dino would have come home second, Tack third. That would be a 2-point swing advantage for Dino over Tack, and he was only 1 point behind Tack coming into this race. Again, I'm not sure, and I could have seen it wrong. We're going to knock out a, but yeah, I was 135 and not 136, so I do apologize for that. I was hyping everyone up the wrong way. It was a 2-lap shootout to the championship, a green-white checkered finish. But I think that may have been a Jack Broseph win. We're going to knock out an ad break here, and then hopefully we can get some results afterwards. I'm not sure, I think Jack Broseph won that race. Second, I believe, is Dino. I know he finished ahead of Tack at the end of lap 135 there. And if so, that would give the championship to Dino. We're still trying to knock out this ad break. Well, welcome back here to Daytona. These are your race winners, Jack Broseph, and your championship winner, Dino Prime, respectively. Again, assuming that I saw everything right, but Jack Broseph in the number 1 car at the number 1 spot at the end of this event. Not really sure who won that. Apparently they're still looking at they're still trying to go through clips here to see who actually won it. But irregardless if Dino won the race or not, Dino has won the IFEA championship, as MabeyRacing was nowhere near the front at the end, and Tactical Fallout lost the run. His tires were just too burnt up there at the end. So yeah, we're still waiting to see who won that event. Tactical Fallout, we know, did come home in 3rd. Packerman looks like he came home 4th. Amish Gaming, we believe, was 5th. Claiming Racer in 6th. Despite dominating most of this race, we honestly thought he had the speed to win, but just did not. He couldn't carry over enough of the speed in the nighttime. NFL Racer slipped to 7th. GGA Design to 8th. Brought Meteor 9th. MabeyRacing tried to put on fresh rubber on that 2-lap run to the end. Only got from 12th to 10th in the end, just not enough time to make that work out. Then Pendaz went ahead. Well, Pindaz would be out of the back, and then King Racing Leo would round out the rear of the grid. But again, we still are trying to figure out who won the race exactly, but we know one way or another, Dino Prime 77 is your championship winner. Dino just needed to finish ahead of all of his rivals. Need to be at least one car between himself and Mabey. At the end, there was way more than that, and if he just finished ahead of Tack at the end, he would have stolen the championship. If Dino didn't win this race, Dino would join a very, very small, limited number of drivers in real-life racing history to have won a championship without winning a race. The only example I can think of top flight racing would be Tom Sneva for the 1978 USAC IndyCar Championship. He won that series title with no wins, but he was one of only like 7 drivers who started all the races that year. But Dino suddenly peeled off, so I'm not sure what's going on here. But it looks like they have probably worked out who actually took that race win. And they're probably trying to wind down the race now. Hello, just trying to send invites out for post-race interviews here real quickly. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. In the Xbox thing, there should be a thing for including your audio. Let me know when you've got that.
Gotcha. It's on.
All right. So it looks like our final end race results are in officially here. So first, I'm going to reach out to Fraught Meteor 8 here. Meteor, interesting race from you. Not the greatest finishing result, but you spent a lot of time up there fighting at the head of the field, leading a huge chunk of laps under that long green flag run. Very up and down day for you. Walk us through that race from your perspective.
Yeah, it was just really nice. You know, this track I've been very good at, no matter what car I'm in. You know, it was fun, honestly. I didn't know I had it in me. I didn't know I had it in me to start battling claiming. Didn't know that was going to happen. But towards the end, I was really upset because coming down to the last caution, I misshift into first and got engine damage, so I had to pit, and I'm just really upset about that. But other than that, the race was fun as hell. It was awesome. It was a good way to end off the series.
Yeah, and not just that, you went up there and you were leading laps on merit in the middle of a long green flag run. It wasn't, oh, I did it on a restart, I happened to be on the restart. No, you ran him down on merit on a long green flag run. That is super incredible. Everyone I talked to said that claiming was the guy to beat here, and you were up there really putting the screws to him, so great job on that today, mate.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so that's the word from Fraught Meteor. I have another driver I want to talk to. This is Fire Guy 41. Fire, go ahead, include your audio. Interesting, rough day for you as well. Walk us through that race from your perspective. What do you have to say about that today?
I mean, we didn't really have a great practice run. I wasn't really confident heading into this, just seeing the speed of everybody else. But I mean, it was cool to lead laps. I led about, I think it was 10 or 15. So it was honestly just cool being up front, and I can't be mad at the finish. It's just unfortunate that the season has to end in a P12. I really had a bad restart on the green white checkered. I think I went from 3rd gear to 5th, so it just lost a lot of momentum. But happy for I don't even know who got the championship, but happy for whoever did it, and you know, hopefully we can get it next year.
All right, thanks for jumping in and talking with us. Definitely interesting seeing you kind of go up and down the field. 12th place, like you said, obviously is not a good indicator of what your actual results were. All right, now I want to go ahead and reach out to Jack Brosuf. Jack, include your audio. Finishing results for this race win are still not 100% certain, but by the looks of it, you came home Very strong, leading at the white flag, only to come home second at the end. What do you have to say about your run out there? Jack, can you hear me? Jack, can anyone hear me? Well, Xbox Party seem to have crashed again. All right, let's try this again. Hopefully it works this time. Please work this time. Xbox might just decide not to let me pull this off. Oh, here we are. Maybe now. Jack, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's up?
All right. Sorry about that, Jack. Xbox parties wanted to crash again. Go ahead, include your audio in the party.
Audio's
and
included.
all right. Looks like a very interesting result. We're still not 100% sure who won that race, but a second place finish to cap off the season at the worst has to be an incredibly strong feat. What do you have to say about your run out there today?
I mean, I was great. I loved it. I mean, the strategy there was really, really interesting. Dino was faster than me all day. He deserved the win. He was fighting for a championship. I'm just fighting to have fun. So it's just annoying how many times I finished second at Homestead on the last corner. You know, it's the fifth or sixth time that I've just completely drove that thing into the wall or just understeered or whatever, you know. And it's frustrating that consistently I'm leading into 3 and I'm in second out of 4 on the last lap of Homestead. But other than that, I had a lot of fun. It was a great race with Dino and everybody, and I'm glad we kept it clean, and I look forward to next season.
Yep, fantastic drive out there, May. It was great to see you out there leading
Thank you.
laps on merit and really cutting it up. All right, now I want to talk with what will be our third place finisher in points, MabeyRacing. Maybe you started fourth, you led a lot of laps early on, but you just kind of dropped down the grid under the green flag, and even on the restarts, you just never seem to recover. What do you have to say about that race from your perspective?
I was playing a different strategy, which worked out pretty much just on that last restart. Lines didn't go, and I couldn't get it up through the back. Simple as that. That's NASCAR, though. But yeah, it was a decent race on my side. I had about everything going as good as it could have been up through the race, running about where I felt like pace-wise where it should be. Of course, everything got kind of jumbled up there in those long green flag run. Positions were all over the place, but yeah, everything went about as I would have expected at that point. When we got to the late race cautions, things happen. It's NASCAR. That's how it works. But yeah, I see.
I do have to ask at this stage of the season, when it's all over and you are way down the order, do you think there's anything different you could have done at any point in the year that would have put you in a better position for the championship coming into today's race?
Definitely. I mean, it's always hindsight's 2020, but that's racing. Again, it just comes down to what choices you make and where it puts you in the end. Didn't work out, but again, it's just racing. It was good though. I just seen Dino's clip went through, so I can give you a live call pretty much on that in a moment here.
All right.
A pretty relative live call, at least. I gotta find where the finish is.
I mean, to be fair, it's...
Yeah, Dino by a nose. Dino by a nose.
All right, so yeah, that would make it official then. Dino Prime 77 wins the championship and the final race of the season by mere inches. So congratulations to Dino on that. Also, maybe I do want to ask you one more question before we move on. What else can we expect from IFEA going forward over the next few weeks or months?
There's probably going to be a little bit of a break just with organizing events as it has been. Take a little bit of a break after the 12-hour, after everything that's gone. Let's get everything sorted. We have some things on the ideas. There will be a series in between, but Trans Am will be coming back most likely sometime around the summer. And yeah, apart from that, the next series isn't quite certain, but we're looking towards something touring cars. So we'll see if that goes through, if we have that time. And yeah. Apart from that, FEC has the Genetic Cup running starting this Sunday, actually. Just 2 days. Sundays. But yeah. So in the meantime, there's that running for everyone to go and get some Spec Cup racing. And FRML, of course, has the GR Cup coming up soon as well.
All right. Thanks for jumping in, sharing that with us, and hopefully we look forward to either racing or broadcasting more events here for IFEA going forward. All right, now I want to talk with our third place finisher in the race, second place finisher in the championship, Tactical Fallout. Tac, include your audio again. Well, Tac, this is 2 NASCAR championships in this season that, by all intents and purposes, should have been yours. You absolutely had the speed, with no doubt, winning more races than basically anyone else. But missing a race completely derailed you and put you behind the 8 ball both times. This time, basically lost it in the last half of a lap in the last race of the season as well. What do you have to say about your run out there today? Yep, this is it. This is the only one this season. Yeah, the less said about Eagle Rock, the better. All right. Well, Tack, it's been fun watching you fight it out this entire season. I'm interested to see what you can do in the future. This is 2 NASCAR championships in this game you've lost, but you're getting closer. Maybe the next one you show up for, you might be able to take it. You absolutely have the speed. It's just going to be the ability of showing up. That seems to be what it comes down to. But thanks for jumping in and talking with us, mate. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You're going to that VER eggnog one, yeah. So, all right. Well, anyways, with that in mind, I'll wrap up our interview with Tactical Fall. Now I want to go ahead and turn it to Dino. Dino, for the love of God, please, if you have a mic, please turn it on. This is like something that's never fucking happened before for you. For the love of God, if you can, please do it. Excuse me. Dino did say in chat he doesn't know what to say because he didn't think that would happen. And to be fair, 3 drivers on top of each other for the championship going into the last race of the season. I do have to ask, Dino, after that green flag run ended, you got to the lead, you raced your way back to the lead, and then you missed the corner in turn 4, smashed the outside wall, and took Mabey with you. Both you destroyed each other's cars. What in the heck happened in that scenario, and how in the world did you recover from that? Because you recovered from it, you crawled your way back up to the field. Mabey did not. He just did not crawl back up to the field. How in the world did you make that mistake? And then more importantly, how did you rebound from that mistake? The front end gave out exiting T4. Was it like a bottoming out, like the nose hit the pavement? Or was it more like Forza did the gradual air removal thing because you were leading the pack? Forza air. Okay, somehow I'm not surprised. Alright. Yeah, that's what it seems like. But yeah, I do want to go ahead and ask 2 other questions to you, Dino. One other question is, what tire strategy were you running that long green flag run? Because to me it looked like you were putting on hard tires with heavy fuel loads trying to cut out a pit stop. Did I guess that right, or is I misunderstanding how that... Mediums. Okay, so you're on mediums, not hards. Okay. All right, and then the other question I have to ask, 2 laps to go. How in the world did you make not just the move on tack, but also the move on track bro stuff to take that win? Like, I don't know if I could do it. I'm good at Homestead, or at least I was in the last game. I don't know if I could have pulled off. How in the world did you make both of those moves stick like that? I don't understand how you did. Even watching it, I kind of didn't understand why I was seeing. Granted, I also thought the race was going to end a lap later. You don't know either, yeah. Well, just tried to give him room. Yep. I mean, you gave him enough room, it seems, and they kind of hung themselves with the rope that you gave them. But still, winning at the end of the season, so you break another long winless drought that you've had. You also go ahead and finally win your first championship in any Forza series. We've seen you fight for it in an X1 CS when it turned into OSRL. Couldn't make it happen then. We saw you fight year on year on year in AGRL. Could never seem to make it happen there. We've seen you fighting for championships in other things that are non-NASCAR related. JGTC, we've seen you fight for it in. Mustang Challenge, we've seen you fight for it in. All these other things, and it always seems to come up all balls. Until today, finally, championship for you, Dino. It's been 9 years in the making. I know you started racing in Forza in 2016, so it's been 9 years in the making, but finally, you're no longer the Mark Martin of Forza Motorsport League Racing. So congratulations on finally taking the championship, mate. With that in mind, unless he shows up to something else here to say at the very end, I have been your host for today's broadcast, Insane Leader 13. Thank you very much for joining us. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you all for wherever our next broadcast will be, probably either SEC or Tora's 12 Hours of Sebring early on next month. But until then, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Farewell and goodbye. I say goodbye with an asterisk. I don't think Dina's saying anything else. Okay, and goodbye.